Do the whole screen. A little frozen. All right. So these would be the number one properties that I would be putting together here. We're doing these myself too, so I'm not just saying something that we would recommend somebody do and then not doing it because that's never a good look. This area here is everything that's west of Old Burnt Store Road. This means that you don't have a bridge to go under with your boat to get out. So anybody that's got like a 40-foot boat or a 50-foot boat and a considerable amount of money only wants to be here, right? So that would get you out to the Gulf through the Matlacha Pass right here. And there was significant damage to Matlacha. There's other opportunities there we can discuss another time. Pine Island, a whole bunch of this got hammered. That's going to be another opportunity in the next couple of weeks, but I don't have anything together for you on that because this just happened in the last few days and we didn't have power for a little while. So, all right, so we have west of Burnstore Road and south of Kismet. You only need 0.23 acres. That's a standard buildable lot here. Gulf access needs to be direct, which again means no bridges. Indirect would mean you have to go underneath a bridge to get there. Really simple, quick math. You want your land price to be at 205 or under if there's no seawall, and you could go as high as 235 with a seawall and I think still be okay. The build price for the house with a pool here is 795. That's a saltwater heated pool with a hot tub. The floor plan that we've been doing is the Ordell. I have another model that's similar to this, and there was a couple things that I changed with this one. If this isn't, I can send those to you another time, but if this one doesn't work out exactly right for the way the property lays out, I wouldn't want to put a house on there that doesn't make perfect sense for that lot.
Yep.
So a lot of times we make changes to these properties as we're going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If we
Just like
find one,
angles of the land and stuff like that. And
exactly. And let's just say like you have the end of a canal just to the right of you, but this house typically opens up to the right. You don't want that. You want it to open up to the open canal. So sometimes we might just flip the plan, or sometimes we've even made a whole different floor plan. Like we have another one that's 3,000 square feet and then has glass that opens up at a 45 to really take advantage of seeing down a canal that way.
it's cool. Yeah.
So that can happen. Standard with a 3-car garage here. On Gulf Access, I wouldn't do anything less than that. People will really not sell it, you know, just because of that. You got to have 3 cars here just because there's no basement. And
You can make the 3-car with the deep garages, so you have storage in the back of the garage too. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, there's 2 different ways. So there's the way where just draw on here quick, right? You could have your garage like this, and let's say this is 2 cars wide here.
Yeah.
There's one way where we can go like this, where this side is the door that goes in the house, and then this bay goes deeper.
Yeah.
My personal home has something like this with a garage door in the back, but on most lots that are only 0.23 acres, you couldn't get back here.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha. Yeah. That would be
But
cool
for
to
this,
come out the other side though too. Or have a door back there, you know?
did you say put a door back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes yes, or sometimes like this is where like a master bathroom would be,
Yeah.
like right here, and then the master would go off this way.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it could be something like that. And then what this does, it allows that storage area right here, like what you were saying. But most of these homes are just a 3-car this way, you
Yep.
know. So I would always recommend a 3-car, but we can change the floor plan if needed.
Cool.
The only thing about that, if we do change it, is that we have a plan review process. It's going to add at least 2 weeks. Nothing too crazy, but
Yeah.
right around there. All the homes in this area that are going to be that big, they're going to need an ATU septic system. They are insanely expensive. That's part of what makes this cost a little higher. It's like a $25,000 expense minimum. That's without the dirt that needs to be on there because the houses are just getting to be too big for those lots. So you need a self-contained system like the ATU. The wells now have to be dug to 200 feet. The water table has dropped down significantly. So we're forced to dig them that deep. That gets extremely expensive too. Just for water purification and the well itself, you're at like 17 to 18,000. We're including 30 loads of dirt with everything. It just depends on how high we need to build up and what the area is. But your all-in price for building one of those with a metal roof is right around one
Yep.
million 30,000, and the comps are 1.4. So you can see your timelines right here. Everything will be done within a year. You know, just broken down. Your contract time is always a little different just after for permitting. So permits are out of our control. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about it except for we use private party plan reviewers, and that makes it quicker. But even still, the town doesn't necessarily review that quickly. We're at 7 to 9 months if there's no seawall needed. Like if they already have one there, and then seawall companies can be really, really slow too sometimes. So we got to add a few months if they're involved. This is the Ordell floor plan. We have one of them that's like 2/3 done right now that I can show you guys real pictures of for something you want to see. And we have two more of them that are in permitting right now as well. So this is all glass, right here off the living room. And the reason why this house is all shaped this direction is because, like I mentioned before, sometimes there's a canal that ends over here. And this house has a canal that ends right over here after about 30 feet or so. So we have everything, all the glass opens up, faces that direction.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, we changed our hot tub and everything to actually be on this side for this one, and then a sun shelf over here. So because the sun's kind of rising over here and setting on this side of the home, we even
Yep.
make the sun shelves face the right direction and all sorts of stuff because we want to make a house where nobody can really complain about it as best we possibly can.
Oh yeah. It's the little details, man. That's crazy. That's awesome to think about that kind of stuff, you know?
We tried. If it was my house, I would. So I try to do it that way. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's even best from an investor standpoint. Like,
Yeah.
there's people that can do stuff cheaper than I can. It's just not. It's not the same product, and I like having my name on the products. I'm proud of my stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
This is actually pulled from yesterday. So last night I just repulled these. These are the comps for a house that's that size. These are the active ones up on the top here.
Wow.
So this is your comparable active ones. See, 3 beds, 2 baths. Square footage is all less than 2,900 here. Oh, I'm sorry, 2,939 is one right there. And it's
Why
only
why is
that
that
was
one
just
in there? Sorry about what is the 2.71? Like why is that one so much more?
excuse me. The one that's 2.7 here.
Yeah.
That's the location of that.
Is that yeah.
Yeah, so if you're in like that particular spot there, that's Sarasota Court, I think is in um it's called the Yacht Club area.
Yep.
And that area has all houses that are several $1,000,000. So
Yeah.
it's that
Gotcha.
neighborhood that's bringing it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then over here, these are the ones that sold. This is really what you would want to look at rather than the ones still active. As an investor, this is what we want to look at here. The cheapest one has sold at 1.22. Southeast is the oldest part of Cape Coral. So everything in Southeast sells for a little less than the other places. We would be building in Northwest. Northwest is the up and coming area of Cape Coral. And I don't say up and coming like it was run down, but it's going to be better. It was never built. And now there's hundreds of homes, you know?
Yeah.
So everything that is in your general vicinity is brand new. I don't know if you remember the houses that I sent you guys photos of in the group.
Yep.
That's on the same street as the ones I'm building this house on.
Yeah.
So
It looks like there's nothing around there. Like it's pretty open.
right now there's one huge development that's going in called the Seven Islands, and I'll scroll back up here and I'll show you that really quickly. If you look right here, this is super blurry. So actually, let me bring up Google Maps. Let's do the analysis. Oh, that's actually going to be good to show you too. Now it's going to be Yeah, I got a whole bunch of things we're gonna show you guys. This is worth showing you all the data so you know.
Cool.
So right here, just go up, is the Seven Islands project. I can give you guys a printout on this. These are called Seven Islands. They're way bigger than they look here.
Yep.
If you want to see like the lot sizes for the house,
Oh wow.
this is how big a house is on the side of these. So these are like these are much bigger than. So some of these are going to have resort hotels, drive up restaurants by boat. So there's all docks and stuff going in the back.
Wow.
They're trying to do upscale shopping, whatever else. They want to kind of turn this into Naples of the area. I don't know if you're familiar with Naples, like if you're
Yeah.
a Florida guy.
Yep.
They want that to be the new super upscale, like Fifth Avenue of Cape Coral. So there's new development going right here that's approved. The job boxes are up. They've started grading. And then there's more new development. Like this area right here is growing insane. This is a new massive development that's going. They've already broken ground on. And I think this is the other one they broke ground on right here as well. And all of this has already been built up. And over here is getting all new flex spaces for like kind of blue collar businesses to be in there because we had like a business shortage in Cape Coral. So the town's actually giving us money to build flex spaces right now, 10% back on our build costs to
Oh
build
wow.
spaces for businesses.
Interesting. Is there a
So
need
yeah,
for
there's a
is there a
lot
need
of.
for warehouses in Florida?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is there a need for warehouses?
Yes, actually, and in Cape Coral specifically, they're giving 10% back on warehouses too. I could show you the document. I think I have it.
That'd be another thing that'd be, I think, pretty cool to get into.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so warehousing and logistics is one of the things that does qualify. Looking at the sheet from Cape Coral right now.
Awesome, man.
So yeah, that's a possibility. Most of the guys I'm working with are doing flex spaces.
Yep.
So
So where's the property that you guys are building on right now? Like, what are the ones that we're looking at? Where are they at?
I'm going right here. I'm building one. I think you can. No, maps hasn't been uploaded yet. Right here,
Yep.
I'm going. Remember, I said it's the end of the canal.
Okay. Yep.
And then this lot here is available.
So that's the end of the canal, and that canal takes you right into the ocean, right?
Yeah, that's like you're seriously like you come here. There's no bridge. That's the ideal thing.
Yep.
And what's really cool is you can't see it well here. This is actually cleared.
Yep.
People take boats through here and they have drone video on YouTube going through it.
Really
So
cool.
not technically a pass, but if you wanted to do it the other way where everybody else does, you could come down here and then it comes out the Matlacha Pass. And then
Cool.
that brings you.
How far is that from there to the end of that little thing? Is it like a mile, or how far is that?
It's this is a few. So from here to here, I'll put a ruler on it just so we're not lying. Is there a ruler on this? Did I miss it?
I was just curious, like how long of a boat ride it would be.
This is about 2 miles from here to here.
Okay,
Yeah,
not bad.
yeah, it's not bad at all.
It's probably cool just trolling through there, kind of seeing the developments that happening, as you're going too,
I enjoy it. It's most people end up liking to just cruise around. You see a lot of pontoon boats if you have a longer drive because you can have drinks, you got a couch, you got stereo, and
Yeah.
it's kind of where it's at. Tons of fishing boats in the area. Matlacha right here is like the fishing capital of Florida.
Really?
Yeah, if you ask some people about it that are big fishing guys, they're gonna probably say this and like the Keys maybe. So that would be the number one place I would do, and then the second option, which the percentage of return isn't quite as good, but it would be between Old Burnt Store here and Burnt Store Road here. You'd have one bridge to get out. That does hurt the resale value quite a bit. You have to do a smaller home to make that worth your time. So I'll bring that.
Gotcha.
All right, this was still your market analysis on the other one. So if you just look at the minimum solds
Yeah.
was 1.22,
Mm-hmm.
and the average is 2 million. Um, I would still always use a smaller number, 1.4 is probably
Yep.
around B. And we're able to build a nicer house than most, so I'll leave it at that. And that's still, like I said, that's Southeast included. Southeast just doesn't bring the same money that area is right now. It really needs to be upgraded severely. They're working on it, but it's a zoning disaster. So this would be option two. And this was from old burn store to new burn store, like I was talking about. And you'd have one bridge to get out. The land price, you'd want to be under 145 with a seawall.
Yep.
Doesn't, it's gonna take 30K. We can build a house and a pool there for 679. It wouldn't have a hot tub because that market just, you don't get your money back in that area. But it
Yep.
would be heated. The floor plan would be an Addy, similar to the one I'm going to show you that we built below, but we changed it a little bit. And we haven't made another one since the changes yet. So 3-car garage, heated pool, metal roof. These can have a standard septic system, so it saves us a lot of money, helps us bring that cost down because they don't take up too much space on the lot. 200-foot well still, unfortunately. This is your all-in price. Be 824, and your estimated sale price would be 955. Same
Are,
build
bo-
time.
are both of these areas permitted for Airbnbs?
Yes.
Yep.
And this is the model that we were using before. People really like tray ceilings here, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Put trays everywhere. Pretty standard kitchen. A lot of times we're doing a range hood now.
Yep.
This, but people say they like it, but it didn't seem to help the sale much, to be honest.
Yep.
And here's just a list of comps on this one.
Okay.
So the actual sold minimum was 915 right here.
Yep.
And then everything was basically from 1 to 1.3. A couple of these, they're not perfect comps. Like 26th Place is a really nice area. Southwest 40th, pretty good comp. Northwest, definitely a good comp. Northwest 14th. Northwest 36 is a great comp. So you're still over that number. Well, 1075 and it's a 7.
Yeah. What's your estimate? Like, let's say with this was like a 5-year hold, like 5 years from now, like where do you see these properties being at, you think? Once like that one area that's like undeveloped, it seemed like, man, I mean, you get in now, I mean, it's just starting to just pop. And once it like gets fully developed, you have to think these things are gonna sell for double.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in this area here in the Seven Islands thing I was showing you.
Yep.
Uh, most of the biggest players here for like other home builders, the ones that I would consider like actually doing a good job, they're building here and they're not even afraid to build on this road, which is going to be a busy road. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, and they're even putting nice homes on this side, even needing a bridge. And the reason is like if you people have argued, yeah, that road's going to be busy, so you don't want a house on a busy road. But go down to Naples, like go down to Fifth Avenue, and go down to like the places they're trying to replicate in downtown Naples. Those houses that are right on that main drag are still millions, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're smart enough to say people aren't going to care. They're going to care about walking distance to the shopping and the high end restaurants and the high end
Yeah.
Gucci store. You know what I mean? Like,
People like having their house showcased also, I think too.
yep, yep,
You know, they like people to see their house.
100%. So like anything here is great. And we're mostly doing stuff like around here up to no further. I wouldn't go north of Kismet. So this is Kismet right here. I wouldn't go further north of this. Makes your boat ride, you know. And then you're not really walking distance anymore to that new stuff. Um, so yeah, you want to be in that area.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have
You know,
any do you have any other pictures of like that first floor plan you showed us? Do you have any pictures of inside the house at all?
see, I think I only have unfinished pictures of. Excuse me.
How does insurance work on these? Is that like a tough thing to get these days or crazy expensive or
No. Um, all these homes that we're doing are built more than 1.5 feet above the base flood elevation. So you're technically not required to have flood insurance. You need to fill out what's called an LOMA or an LOMC form, depending on what your situation is. What that does is it tells FEMA that your home has been surveyed by a professional engineer to be outside of the flood zone. And if you do that, they can't charge you flood insurance. So if we bring up like the FEMA flood map, I'll show you exactly what that looks like once you do this. So this is one that I'm building, like I said, right here. See how this is technically blue? This is an AE8, so you have to be 8 feet above the water level to not have flood insurance. Really, you got to go a foot over it. So we're at 9.5 on this house. And then what happens once we get that engineering survey, then it would look like this. They would go in and update the flood zone map, and you would just see the house is out of the flood zone. You know, so you'll see if we go through here really quick, you'll see that there's a bunch of the houses that are smart enough to know how to do that. Nobody knows that that form even exists. This guy here, he could probably just go get his house surveyed and not have flood insurance anymore. You know, all of these were new enough. I know these people, like right here. This is Walter. Greg's over here, Greg Damaris. Like I know a lot of these guys. I know what their houses are. I know how high they are. They just don't know to do the application. You know.
is it risky to do without the insurance or you feel pretty confident?
When you're building that high, like I've owned these properties since Ian and stuff. None of my stuff had floods, and those were the two worst ones in history so far. Could it be worse? Sure. But what I like about it is you have a lot of leverage when you're not forced to do it. So when you're calling around for insurance companies and they're like, well, we need you to be insured for the full 1.5 million of the house. And one of my things, and one of your things that could be as an investor, and you know me, like one of my things is, well, it's not going to cost me 1.5 million to replace it. I'm going to build it for 800 or whatever. But they'll make you get the insurance for the full amount if your mortgage company is making it, right? So you're able to insure it for a lower value for full replacement cost if you needed to. And it saves you so much money even if you decide to do it. And it's an application that I believe is free to do. I don't think there was any charge with it. If there was, it's so small, it's like $50 or something. And then you get a survey. We already have the surveys when we build the house new. You have to get an as-built survey that shows the elevation of the house regardless. And then we get a final survey on the lot as well. So it's just providing them with the information.
What is the cost difference then between having that flood insurance or not? Is it massive?
Thousands.
Amount of thousands? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
annually.
If you needed it in that area, it's at least 3,000 a year for a house that size. If you had to get it fully covered for it. We also have this. This lot's really expensive. Tony has this one. We're building a 2-story house, probably for him and his wife, but we're not sure yet. I actually have that's surveyed right up here on my board. Man, that's a cool one. Like that has like a theater room, a gym inside on the 2nd floor, like all sorts of stuff. It's so wild. I love it. The staircase alone in that house is like 90 grand. Really cool.
Awesome, man. Anything else that you can think of that you can show us, or is that it?
That would be it for this. If I was gonna give you guys any kind of new game plan that's happened since the hurricane, but we did this before the hurricane. This area here, a lot of this got flooded, you know. So those homes can be worth a ton of money redone. Matt Lachey has something like I've never seen before. Let me zoom out. Let's back to Matt Lachey. This area right here has some of the nicest potential you would ever see in, like, seriously anything around here. Even this area is spectacular. You should consider this area too, because there are homes that are like, they're probably going to be 300,000 or something right now, right on the side of 3-story monstrosities with a pool on the second floor. You know, like the gentrification rate right there is going to be insane, especially after 2 floodings in 2 years. So I would look there. And if you guys want, I can try to get us in contact with some people. I already have one realtor looking over here in this area. So I'm getting so many notifications. So everything over here got flooded too, if it's an older house. And are you guys familiar with Margaritaville at all, in Fort Myers Beach?
Yeah.
Okay, Margaritaville is right here. All of these homes that are in this general vicinity are close enough to downtown where you can there, and the rentals for that place are unbelievable. I don't know that how much money somebody wants to bring in. If you could touch the beach side, there's going to be a couple of opportunities there too. But we're talking the land alone would probably be around 800 minimum. But it's one of those situations you build a house that's somewhere between 3 and 4.5 million, and then it's worth like 8 or 9. So the more money you bring in, the better return it's going to have with something like that. And all of these, same thing as that Matt Lachey area, you're going to have those houses that are built at basically water level. And the gentrification here is going to be wild. You have 1-story houses that are trash, they're tear downs on the side of these 3-story homes. Once you get down here, I wouldn't do anything in this area. So we'd be looking mostly up here. It's not that these aren't nice. I would live here myself. But if you're an investor, it's not quite the same return. And there's no Airbnb value over here compared to up here. So.
Awesome, man. This has been a pleasure to have you and to see all this stuff, and you put some pretty neat stuff going on. You know, I mean, prayers out to the people in Florida right now. Prayers to you guys. Hopefully, you know, people are able to recover pretty quickly here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We're hoping for the best here. But most of the
Yeah, I don't want to go there. I don't know.
what was that?
Oh, nothing. Sorry, my wife's talking in the background. Sorry.
Yeah, most of the places here were fine, thankfully, in my local area. But like north of us really got hurt, you know. Tampa was a tough spot to be in. Anywhere north of there too. Tallahassee, man,
Yeah.
feel very bad for those people. That was the worst one. The worst one I think that's
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. Morin, do you have any questions at all?
No, I'm good. I'm just feeling wow. Those are some nice properties. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I think I died out on you.
No, we might have lost Anthony.
Yeah. Built his house. Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you were frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, was I? Yeah. No, I was just saying last time you were showing us a little bit around your house, and I don't know what's going on.
We got you now.
Yeah. But yeah, anything else, fellas?
No, I think that's everything. That was great.
If you guys ever want to do something, it doesn't even have to be the same thing that we were just showing you. Like that's what most of my investors like to do right now. I'll usually build on a cost plus basis for people too. So if you want to do a cost plus basis, we can do that, and we can bring the number down to cost plus 18. you know, and then if you want to save money on as many of the parts as you can, keep that price even lower, we can do it. You know, there's plenty of ways to save money. We're wild with insulation. I really think insulating a house good is important, but if you're trying to flip something and
Yeah.
you know, you're an investor, it's different. You can use regular insulation. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not quite as good. It still perfectly meets.
Yep.
So there's ways to save some money. If I can give you like a couple pieces of advice, like locally, if anybody tries to tell you that the low end market is worth doing right now, they're lying. So don't do it. Don't touch anything where somebody's telling you they can build a house for 300. It's not possible. We just watched Black Tip fail. They're out of business. Delta failed. They're going out of business. And BD, they just failed. One of the biggest builders that was in the area, and they were even doing custom homes, and they had like spec lines, and they ended up failing too. So we're now picking up all their houses, and people are wondering why they're more money. Just tell them, hey, it's $350 to build it. So you can't. There's no money in here for the builder. It was never possible at 300.
Yeah.
Don't know why they took these on. And that's
So
why.
these people have to continue building the house. They're out all that money unless they find somebody else to come in and help them continue.
Yes, I have 7 of them right now. So
When did she do it?
Dang. They get just over aggressive and they realize they can't do it, and then they run out of money essentially.
yeah, they'll run out of money. I was talking to you about the septic systems a little while ago, how much more they got the wells, all that stuff got more expensive, and the margins were so slow or so small, sorry, that they just couldn't adapt to it in time. You know, when you took on 50 contracts to build homes at that price, you just put yourself out of business. And one of the guys was, you know, misappropriation of funds, built himself a $2.5 million house in the process, thinking it was all going to work out well. And now the sale is being forced on his $2.5 million home that he never even lived in.
You can
But
do it, but they
just
don't.
got to be careful with that stuff around here. I'll gladly tell you if any builder is good or bad locally, you know, as best we can if you ever do something. But just, you know, be careful with that stuff. And
All within like 3 hours.
the
Yeah,
low end,
Yeah. Yep. Well, you're our builder, so I mean, I don't think we're gonna be talking to any other builders.
even still, sometimes it's just an asset class that like I might not want to do. Like if you told me like, hey, do you want to build this cheaper house for me? No, if it was for you personally and it's your family's house, sure, I'll do it. But
Yeah.
if it's because we're doing it for an investment thing, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta be at a certain price point or it's not moving
Yeah. Yeah, we appreciate all your insight, Andrew. Man, it's been awesome. I'll let you won't take up too much of your Sunday here, and I appreciate you hopping on a weekend and a Sunday especially.
right now. Of course, appreciate you guys meeting up. I'm gonna go tear out some drywall on houses.
Plan.
Time to get back to work.
Right on, man. Have a great day, brother.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks
Thanks again.
Thanks.
Thanks.